Hey YouTubers, I'm going to try my hand at going live with cooking. Currently, I have some yeast settling for bagels I'm going to be working on. But in the meantime, I decided to make some brunch. It's a complete improvisational thing, but I think it's going to taste great. So here we go. Something to do with salmon, asparagus, probably some sweet peppers, eggs, biscuits. I'm going to make some biscuits too. So first I'm going to make the biscuits. Actually, I'm making a lot of bagels. I don't want to use up my flour. So scratch the biscuits. I'm going to do sweet potatoes instead. Now, let me get out my sweet potatoes. And I think I'll do like 2. So here's 1. 2 sweet potatoes. We'll go down to my chopping block. And I'm just gonna first shave them up. I like the idea of sweet potatoes with salmon, actually. Damn. I just swept too. I'm gonna sweep again. It's just, in my opinion, the easiest way to do that. Just hold it down to the board. But there's several techniques. That just works for me. Probably because I got little hands. I feel like I have a little more control. And the sweet potatoes, we're gonna roast them like we would golden potatoes for breakfast. They're gonna be flavored a little differently to complement the natural sweet potato flavor. So there will be some sweet and savory spices in there. Yeah, a couple sweet potatoes. And this pile of junk food behind me is my compost. If you're wondering what I'm throwing all this in, that's going to make more vegetables happen. We've got a little salmon thong. That's all I had in there, so I just figured I might as well use it up. Maybe make salmon the garnish, which is kind of funny. Usually the meat is not the garnish, but I like doing it that way sometimes. All right. I'm going to go ahead and grab some onion and some garlic. We'll be right back. Garlic and some onion. Boom. All right, let's go back down. If you guys are super interested in me chopping onions and garlic, get my trusty little toothpick because onions make me cry. Come on. This thing is so cheap. And just shove that shit in your front teeth and bite down if onions make you cry too. And get these eggs out of the camera. There you go. There you go. Alright. I'm going to sharpen my knife. Much better. For the compost. This is the part I start really biting down for. If you're real sensitive, you can rinse your onion with some cold water. But I feel like the toothpick usually works. I'm just gonna go ahead and chop all this up. Chopped onion. You better get that chopped onion. Gonna show you how to chop this onion. There we go. Gonna rinse it actually, even though I don't have to. Because there was some shit on there. Take it off. You like my songs, guys? Alright. And I just use my thumb usually as a guide to get little cuts down there. And then just claw. Easy as pie. Once you get the hang of pie, pie can be pretty easy. Pretty fair statement. Using my fingers and thumbs and knuckles as a guide for where I want to slice. You can also go along some of the lines on the onion that are their natural line. And then just, there you go. Whoops. Okay. Boom. And with the sweet potato, just go ahead and get it down the middle like that. Please, you too. Why not? There you go. And I'm just going to go like this and get some pieces about yay big on average. They don't have to really be uniform for this. I'm jamming right now, so this is a jazzy dish. Nothing has to really be the same shape. If you know me personally, you know I like meticulous cooking, so this is a little bit different than I normally do, but I'm enjoying it, so fuck it. Boom. This is going to be my starchy carb for this breakfast. I'm going to cut this one in half. I'm going to go like boom, 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 and boom. I got all my sweet potatoes chopped up. How cute. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to saute these onions and blanch my sweet potatoes. And they're all going to go in the oven. Garlic's going in last, so I might wait a second to do the garlic actually. Ooh, my yeast is looking good. Might get on bagels before I get off this video. You guys might see a little bit of the process of creating bagels at home with a regular electric oven and making that shit come out straight. And honestly, if you know your oven, even though electric is kind of a pain in the ass, it does produce consistent heat if you get used to what spots are hot and what spots aren't. So you can kind of understand it a little better, but you know, I love flame. It's just a good way if you do have electric like I do to be able to still work with it. Now, this is the little hidden French chef in me that wants to add butter to everything. I'm going to saute my onions in butter. Don't mind the bowl of yeast next to my onions. and fresh. Well, actually, wait a second while I get the butter. Oops. Oh, that's not even. But that's okay. Not worried about it. Ay, caramba. It's like the worst I've cut butter in a while. Glad I'm not showing this part. Here's some butter. And we're just gonna saute them on about medium high for my stove. It might be different depending on what kind of stove you're using. I'm gonna put the butter away and put on a pot of water to boil for the sake of my sweet potatoes. And the rest is pretty quick because, like I said, this is a jam. I'm making bagels. I don't have time to do a long breakfast. So we're going to be quick about it. One second. Are you talking to me? Sorry, I thought I was being summoned, but I wasn't. Okay. I don't know how to close Ziploc bags, but that's fine. We'll figure that out after the video, so you guys don't have to watch me struggle. Nice steel pot. I'm gonna fill it with some water. I'm gonna go right for the hot. I want this to heat up quick and just get right into the blanch. That's about a little under 4 cups of water. And boom. And boom. I'm going to throw a pinch of salt in the water to make it boil and a lid. Let that melt. Why not? Fuck it. And the next thing I'm going to do is prep my veggies for what's going to be eggs and veggies, it looks like. Ooh, look at this yeast. It's getting creamy. I'm going to mix it up a little bit. Got brown sugar in some of these, honey in the others. But after this, I'm making bagels and taking pictures of them. Get creamy for me, Mom. Oh, yeah. Ooh. The honey gets so thick. Mix this big one up, too. Ooh. Oh, no. Okay. All that honey on the bottom, delicious. I'm gonna give this like 20-30 more minutes. I'm really gonna let the yeast rise to its full potential. Down with the flavor, up with the rice. It's gonna be nice. Smells like honey. It's delicious. Smells like honey beer. Okay. My onions are starting to be all covered in butter. There we go. Look at these shits. Beautiful. And then I've decided we're doing a small piece of salmon with the skin. Asparagus and sweet pepper. Are we out of sweet peppers? There's jalapenos, so we're gonna do jalapeno. Asparagus, jalapeno. White carrot. It's the decision I've made. And it's going in with the sweet potatoes. All right, now time to prep the asparagus. I think I know what I'm making now. Exactly what I'm making. And it's going to be delicious. All right. Take these little fingers and then them out. And that one. Yikes, get out from under there. And this is what I chose as my tedious task. Of course, I had to have one, but I'm almost done. I just think it's going to taste better this way, so we're going to do it. Okay. Asparagus went bad so quickly. There's like a groove on this usually that you can find, and you just kind of move along it, use your fingers to guide the blade. Once you're at the end, you can just snap down and pull off. Boom. Almost done now. But there's bad knife, that could take forever. But luckily, I have a wonderful boyfriend who bought me a wonderful knife that does the trick nice and quick. And boom, motherfuckers. That's okay. We don't need to be perfect today. We just need to taste great. 2 left. Thanks for sticking with me, viewer. Getting to the fun part now. Only tricky thing about this knife is the point is very sharp. So when being lazy and lifting the point off, sometimes you can stick yourself. But a sure way to make sure you don't stick yourself is to keep the blade on the board, no matter what you're doing. Like, I want to chop this up, I'm going to go like this. Not like that. Feed the veggies slowly in the winter. Boom. Okay, and let's take a look at my pretty brown butter and onions. That's about all the sauteing I want to do on those. Set them aside. I'm turning the oven on a broil. And you know what? I've been waiting for this water to boil. I never turned the burner on. So we're going to do that now. It's fine. Now I'm going to finish prepping these, which will be easy. I'm live on YouTube, by the way.
Hey, YouTube. Yeah, I was 45 minutes late, but remembered.
Oh, you got into the meeting?
And it's.
I forgot until you just now brought it up.
I don't know what aid package is part of, and I wasn't in the whole meeting, and wasn't going to ask for more specifics they were already repeating themselves for me.
Yeah.
But apparently for casino theater workers, anyone whose revenue was furloughed, like you couldn't work, there's some like about a $1,600 check coming.
Oh, nice. Does that include me too, or just the large businesses?
Well, yeah, no, it would. You should be included too.
Nice. That would be so helpful.
And
could take care of a lot.
Yeah, they're mailing out the bonus checks, and I didn't ask, but you might be getting 400 there.
Nice.
I think you will be.
That'll be helpful. I think if you're driving.
Said 30 checks. He said that there were about $3,400 checks.
Nice.
So I would assume you're on the list of 30.
That would be cool. I mean, he does remember my name now.
Exactly.
And recognize me, so.
Exactly. But what's the address they have for you?
Yours, I think, because my last.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, my last pay stub was mailed here.
Okay, cool.
Just chopping the fibrous ends off. Oh, I'm sorry. How can you miss all the action? Ooh, lots of action right there. Okay, that's good. Now with this, I'm gonna do garlic, a little bit of light spicing, butter, and fried egg on top. I'm gonna cook this now thawed salmon. Skin down. And use some of my sauteed onions aside because I like this pan for the salmon. I like it for the eggs too. I like that pan for the eggs too. So put my onions in here. Boom, shakalaka, boom. I hear the water starting to boil now. Now we're gonna have boiling water. Boiling water is coming down the drain. I don't know why I said drain. No, it's not. Because that shit would burn my hands off if my sink had boiling water in it. Because boiling point is really fucking hot and it makes your fingers fucking hurt. Oh shit, I'm cussing on live television. I don't think anybody fucking cares nowadays. Do. Maybe they just care that my songs suck. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn the heat on the pan with the already onion sauteed butter in it, and I'm adding a sploosh. That's right, you heard it here first. Sploosh of olive oil. A little more. That's fine. Okay. Okay. This water needs to boil. A watched pot never boils. I'm going to take a plate. This guy right here. And I'm going to put the salmon on it. And we're going to do a quick brining kind of method. Similar seasons are used in smoking. So, all right. Now that my hands are clean of fish juice. Ooh, guess who's boiling? We're gonna give this guy about 5 minutes, maybe a little more, who knows. I'm just gonna drop that sweet potato right in there, and then you'll see that it goes nowhere. It's gonna stay inside the pot. There you go with some food for thought. I'm gonna turn the heat down slightly so it doesn't steam all out on the sides. It's cool, this pan's got holes and dips, so when it's done, I can just pour all the water out and have the potatoes in the bottom of the pan and wash them in cold water and do the same thing a couple times. We're good. Do I have this? Yep. My broiler is on, so as soon as they're out, we'll toss the onions on them, some fresh garlic. Garlic is last. Toss some onions on them, a little bit of rosemary, pinch of cinnamon, some salt, pepper, a little bit of cumin, a little bit of sage maybe. I'm thinking about the sage. And some clove. Definitely some clove. Ooh, and some fresh ground ginger and these yellow fucking carrots. Okay, so now, because I got time for the garlic's last. I don't want my garlic to burn out, lose all its deliciousness. And I'm actually waiting to time the blanch on my potatoes until they're in full boil again, which might take a minute or two. So if you're timing it from dropping, give it about 6-7 minutes. Sweet potatoes at that thickness, it's going to take a little longer than a regular potato to cook through. I want to rinse them real well with cold water, but not too much because I'll lose some of the color, a little bit of the flavor, but we're going to pump it back up with some savory and sweet spices and some salt in that broil with all their flavors of the fresh yellow carrots and the ginger and the onion and the garlic. It's really going to pop. You're going to get all those sweet savory sensations in one, and then we're going to get that nice roasted, slightly seasoned, delicious buttery vegetable with a fried egg and a nice little piece of salmon. I think I will do capers and a small scoop. Ooh, 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 I have an idea. The rear is off. Great. That sounded dirty. All right, so actually I'm going to crust this salmon to match the flavor elements of the dish. 3 more minutes on my blanch. So in my crusting, let us do some egg whipped. What am I going to crust it with? Cheeses and flour or cornmeal. Sugar, brown sugar. Okay, we're good. I'm going to use something else. Okay, so I'm going to actually pat brown sugar right onto the salmon. Not in the crust. And you know, I don't know if I want to make a crust for this one actually. I think I just want to cook it. Brown sugar. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So we're going to coat it in some brown sugar. I already have a lot of fresh garlic going on, so I'm going to do some dry garlic powder. Because I like the flavor. I know a lot of people are like always fresh, and I am too usually, but this works in a lot of things. So a little bit of garlic powder. Some fresh cracked pepper. Like What else do I want to use? A little bit of salt. I think I want sea salt. And I can leave this out anyways because I'm making bagels. They're much better with sea salt. Alright, nice and simple. Oh, and you know what? Let's add a little bit of cumin and some rosemary. Just gonna kind of find that with some of the flavor profiles of the sweet potato. I think I'll just put the egg right on top. I'm gonna turn the rear up, and my potatoes are about done blanching, so this won't do. I was making bagels last night, so and I wanted to use a bunch of cornmeal and oats and flour on it. But there we go. Easy as 1, 2, 3. There we go. And I'm just gonna pop this in the oven because it is steel and it'll dry fast and be fine. And it's broiling in there anyway, so it'll be dry in minutes, seconds actually. And cold water, real cold. Shock those potatoes. Once on the lid. Nice and cold potatoes now. And they're nice and soft too. There might be a little bit of steam left on them, but they're cold to the touch, which is what we want. But almost lost one. Now I'm gonna swing you guys back. My pan is smoking. I'm gonna turn it down a bit. Look at that. And lay that steaming down. Lay in the oil. Smush. About 30 seconds till the skin sticks to the pan. Okay. And you gotta find me a lift from the heavens above. Find me a lid to cook my salmon skin from under to above. I won't quit my day job, I promise. All right. Ooh. Man, it's nice nice and hot. Another benefit of drying it in the oven is you get the pan pre-warmed. And you know, normally I would have already coated those in olive oil, but I forgot. We all make mistakes. I'll show you how to fix that mistake. We're going to go ahead and coat the pan and the potatoes at the same damn time. Spatula got all the cinnamon flavor on it. And it's okay to get a little water on there. It's going to cook right off. It'll pop a little bit too. Maybe scare you, but don't be scared. Don't be scared. All right, we're going to toss these around a bit. Don't want to crowd the potatoes. Crowding. I'm using the lingo now. Crowd. Separate all of this like so. And boom, shaka laka. Now I have my pan pulled a little lower away from where it normally would be to broil, because I want these to broil a little slower. And turn this down. When I put the garlic on, I'm going to raise these up a bit. Let it broil for like 5 minutes like that. And to season them, we're going to do a little bit of cinnamon. Some sea salt. Potatoes can handle some salt as well. Oh, that is more salt. Never mind. Pepper though. Do a little bit of Italian seasoning. Some ginger. And they are ready to go in the broil. We'll revisit them in about 10 to 14 minutes with some garlic. And now that my heat's turned down, where my salmon was at, I'm putting it back down on the heat to cook the rest of the way through, but it didn't want it to burn. I just want the skin to be cooked through, sticky and crispy. So it's a balance between burning it and crisping it. But it's almost a burn to get it there. It's fun. Anyways, it's fun. What am I using for eggs? This non-stick pan right here. go with a little bit of butter. I threw that in the pan, not on the floor just now. It would have been funny if I did. Did not. I'm going to turn this on. Oh, those sweet potatoes are looking amazing. All right. Gonna add a little rosemary to the pan. Bit of sea salt. And I'm gonna mince up a little garlic for the potatoes and for the, what are we framing up? The potatoes and the vegetables. There we go. It's about 3 little cloves. Start one guy. And remember what I said about this blade down, especially if you get a blade like mine. This shit is sharp as a motherfucker. So keep this shit on your cutting board or you might lose a finger. It's much easier to cut when your blade is on the board too. You're doing yourself a lot of favors. Remember to always keep the tips of your fingers below your knuckles underneath, because before you cut your fingers, you want to hit your knuckles, miss your fingers. Sometimes even the back of my fingers, like this, works when I get real close, especially in a julienne. And then just right. I'm going to take about half of the garlic. The rest is going on the potatoes. And we're going to saute the garlic and the rosemary in the butter. going to take the heat off that and let the pan do the rest. Yes. I'm going to turn slightly up. And we're going to process step number 2. Potatoes. Beauties right here. Really. They're about to get even more beautiful. And just move the rack up one. Got some garlic. And already cooks the bottoms almost as much as the top cooks. How hot the pan gets. It's going to be pretty Let's do crowd. Back in. Too hard. Let's smell them cook. Your asparagus right in there. French cut. Right in the butter. Yowza. All right, so that's cooking down. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. And a little bit of pepper. God, I suck at that. Practice makes perfect. That certainly looks wonderful. It's all coated. It smells great. Salmon, sticky, crispy skin. All right, I've got about maybe 3 minutes, so we're going to do the eggs now, because I want the asparagus to stay crunchy. So, all I'm going to do is just drop it right on there. Yeah. Plenty of oil and butter in there, it's not going to stick. Perfect. And now, just got about 3 minutes on everything. The eggs are going to cook. Actually, I'm going to add a little bit of salt to them. it's going to be a nice little thin slice of salmon on an egg with on a head of asparagus with sweet potatoes, carrots. I am starving now. I am legitimately hungry as shit because this shit smells absolutely delicious. I don't know if I can wait 3 minutes for these eggs to cook, but everything is timed out. It's going to come out at the same time with the salmon, but I wanted it to rest anyway. So, yeah, good. Good time. You could probably do this faster if you were making a video. It's like 56 minutes. You could probably do this in like 20 or 30 minutes. I just, just talking to y'all, take my time, moving the camera, that type of shit. But yeah, it could be done faster. Starting to look good. Potatoes. Oh, they're almost ready. I'm literally gonna put the timer on 1 minute because if I pull them out any later, they're gonna burn. Wash two. Alright, and I'll just watch those after this video because I got about 15 seconds to start playing. Alright, here we go. This is the fun part. Dishes, where they go. Like I said, I won't roll you guys through the cleaning process. You can't create plates on a dirty counter. Rule number one. There's so many rule number ones. It's always the first. Even if it's I've already turned the heat off my eggs because the white's cooked through. Excellent. I always give my boyfriend more food than me because I have a smaller stomach. So the portions are always a little bit different. And my salmon is sliced with a spoon. It should be perfectly tender. Make sure the skin cuts. There's that. There's that. Almost place it. Close your eyes and I'll kiss you. You're all I miss you. I promise I'll always be true. And when I am away, I write home every day. I'll say, all right to you. All right, I'll say, all right, tell me what you home every day. And there it is. It's a little bright lighting right here. Delicious. Have to take a bite of camera. Baby, get your plate. Fuck yeah. You want to taste it? On camera?
Salmon hash.
Asparagus is good. All right, success. Enjoy. You can use that recipe. I don't really